Dear students, welcome to the International Business Lectures. Today we will discuss the international trade theories. This lecture is for business students grade 4. In this lecture we will discuss international trade and two of the most important trade theories. When people, companies exchange goods and services, this is a trade. But international trade is the concept of this exchange between people and companies in two different countries. People and the companies trade because they can benefit from these activities. Although it is a very simple concept that people, companies trade, but it governs by theories, policies, and the business strategies. So it is not a simple process. First, we will discuss the global strategic rivalry theory that provided and emerged in 1980s by the economists. They focused actually on how multinational companies can gain competitive advantage against the global companies in their industries. The idea is that firms will need to succeed in the global competition by have or develop a competitive advantage. To gain the competitive advantage, companies need to have barriers to entry for that industry that they compete in. But what are the barriers to entry that the company should have? These actually are obstacles that the new firms may face when trying to enter into the industry or the new market, so that they cannot enter or compete the old company. How companies can have barriers or seek to optimize these barriers? They can use research and development. They can own intellectual property rights. They have economies of scales, unique business process or methods, also have control over resources or favorable access to raw materials that give them opportunity to have competitive advantage over other companies in the industry. The second theory that we will discuss is about national competitive advantage, and this theory actually provided by Porter, is a famous professor at Harvard Business School in 1990. Porter theory actually identified that there are some characteristics of nations to have competitive advantage in an industry, and this actually will depend on the industry to innovate and upgrade. Porter explained his theory by 4 determinants that link it together. These are actually local market resources and capabilities, local firm characteristics, and the local market demand with local suppliers and complementary industries. First, Porter recognized that the nation's resources, even national resources or valuable labors or other resources, are main factors that will determine what products and services the country will import and what products and services the country will export. If they have resources that have competitive advantage in them, they will export them, and if they have shortage in these resources, they will import from other countries. Also, he didn't focus only on natural resources and labor. He focused also on skilled labor, investment in education, technology, infrastructures. These are actually advanced factors as providing the country with a sustainable competitive advantage. Local market demand conditions also very important for competitive advantage. If the country local market create sustainable competitive advantage by encouraging innovation, encouraging new products. This actually is important for the companies whose domestic markets are sophisticated and innovative. Also, the demand will force continuous innovation and the development of new products and technologies. Third, local suppliers and the complementary industries. This means that big companies actually do not produce everything, do not produce every part or supplies that need for their products. For example, in car productions or manufacturing, the Toyota company cannot produce every part of the car. So they need efficient supporting and related industries to provide the inputs required by the industry. If there is no supplies or companies to provide the supplies, these actually will not be able to compete. Certain industry or certain industries can be clustered in geographic areas which provide efficiency and productivity so that they can decrease the cost and increase production, so they can have competitive advantage in different ways. The fourth dimension is the local firm characteristics. This has two meanings actually, because the local firm characteristics include the firm strategy also and the industry structure and industry rivalry. Local strategy will affect the competitiveness of the firms, and we can say that a healthy level of rivalry between the local firms will have a result about the innovation and the competitiveness of these companies and how they can compete in other countries. Porter thinks that there are other factors related to the government that can help the companies and the industries to have competitive advantage. Actually, the policies and the practices of the governments can support these industries and these firms to compete globally and to have more competitive advantage than other companies and than other industries in other countries in the world. This is the end of our lecture. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next lecture, inshallah.